These education coverage is brought to you by Lilly, a medicine company.
Ahead of the next IPS board meeting, charter school leaders are asking IPS schools to transfer ownership of buildings to charter schools. Now, Amelia Pack-Harvey is a reporter for our news gathering partner, Chalkbeat Indiana. You've been covering this story extensively. First off, let's talk about why they want to take control of these buildings and what they think that will do.
Sure. Well, yes, it's important to note that some might want to take ownership of the buildings. The letter also kind of suggested perhaps pursuing the route of an independent authority that would be responsible for facilities, because not all of the innovation charter schools that are part of IPS are in IPS buildings. So there were some schools that signed on to that letter that are not in IPS buildings. But the ones that are interested in taking ownership of their buildings, you know, they operate on a contract with IPS, and to do things like renovations or major changes to the building, have different, the one leader I spoke to said he'd love to build a stage for his students and expand fine arts, but to do any of that would require kind of a legal back and forth contract, since they are not the owners of the building. So this would kind of reduce that and really just give them pure total control over the place that they want to stay in for forever. Gotcha.
Okay, I'm sure there's opponents to that. So what are they saying about this?
Well, I think there is some hesitancy in folks that are, you know, proponents of traditional IPS schools that, you know, they argue that the district has been providing services for these charter partners at low or no cost, and that the charter schools really have been reaping the benefits of the services that the district provides, like transportation and buildings, for free. So on the flip side, people argue that, you know, we as in the district should have been charging charter schools for these things all along.
Any calls within IPS for people to agree with this and move forward?
I do understand that the district has been working with some schools to try and to perhaps transfer ownership of buildings. The problem is it's a work in progress, and administrations and school board members change, and so we'll have to see how all of that shakes out. But certainly with the work that the Alliance is doing, it might kind of speed things up or make things, you know, ultimately mandated. Who knows? We'll see.
Any measures in place in the meantime that could sway this one way or the other?
You know, I don't think so. I think we're still in this whole public comment period for the Education Alliance to kind of consider all of these things, and then the members will kind of be meeting publicly and privately to discuss what they want to recommend to the State House, and ultimately the state lawmakers would have the authority to force the district or force local leaders to do something. So we'll see how that all shakes out.
What about any public comment periods? Will people be able to get their opinion into this?
Well, the Alliance is continuing to meet, and they've got a series of meetings through December, public meetings, beyond just the 3 that were initially announced. So if you go on the Indy.gov website, you can see those. We had just the most recent one last week. And then they accept comment in person or in writing, so there'll be time for that. And then, of course, the IPS school board is continuing to meet as well. There's a meeting this week.
Makes sense. All right. Amelia, thank you so much for your insight on this story.